Hello and welcome. Today we are diving into the fundamental concept in the world of software development, that is version control systems or VCS, as you might have heard. Whether you are a beginner or you just need a refresher on version control system, this video is for you. So let's get right into the what's our agenda for today. First, we are going to understand the concept of version control system as to what a version control system actually is, and then we are going to see why do we even need a version control system. After that, we will talk about a few benefits of version control system, and in the end we will see what are the major types of version control system that are available today. So let's first see what actually is a version control system. So let's start with a simple definition. Version control system is a system that allows you to track and manage the changes to your code or files over time. So at its core, a version control system is like a time machine for your code, if I say so myself. That helps you manage and keep track of whatever changes have you done over the lifespan of your project. So version control system, also you might see some places mention it as source control management, is a practice of tracking and managing changes to software code. Version control system are software tools that help software team manage changes to the source code over time through whole lifespan of project. As development environment have accelerated, version control systems have helped software teams work faster and smarter. Version controls keeps a track of every modification that is done to the code in a special kind of database. If a mistake is made by a developer, then they can turn back the clock and compare earlier version of code to help fix the mistake while minimizing the disruption to all team members. As I have said, the turn back the clock and compare earlier version, that is a specific functionality of version control system. As I have already mentioned, a version control system is like a time machine for your code. So why does version control system even matter? Why do we need it? So suppose if a mistake is made by a developer, the developer can turn back the clock and compare earlier version of code to help fix the mistake while minimizing disruption to all team members. As we discussed in the previous slide, for all the software project there is available today, the software, the source code is like a treasure, crown jewel for them, a precious asset whose value must be protected. So version control system helps teams solve this kind of problem, like tracking every individual change by every contributor and help prevent concurrent work from conflicting. Further, in all software development, any change can introduce a new bug on its own. A new software can be tested until it's thoroughly tested. So testing and development proceed together until a new version is ready. Good version control software support a developer's preferred workflow and do not get in the way or impose a one particular way of working. Ideally, it also should work on all platforms rather than dictate a operating system or tool change behavior or a certain way of working for them. So let's see what are various benefit a version control system provides. So first, project history. Basically, a version control system maintains a detailed history of all the changes that is done to the software code, helping you understand who did what and when they did that. A complete long-term change history of every file. This means every change made by any individual over the lifespan of project. Changes include the creation and deletion of file as well as edits to their content. Different version control system tools differ as to how they handle the renaming and moving of file. As renaming a file is essentially just moving it with a different name. This history should also include who the author was, at what date the change was done, at which place the change was done, what was the purpose of that change, That is all. And the second is error recovery. Having the complete history enables you to go back into a previous version of code if it needs arise. Basically, a version control system can act as a safety net. If something goes wrong, you can always go back to a previous working version, because version control systems allow you to do that. It's basically works like a time machine, if we say it in a simple terms. It's very hard to make a mistake that can't usually be reverted by a version control system, as essentially every changes that is done to a version control system is some data that is added to a database, and it can, in most cases, it can be undone. So let's look at the third point, collaboration. So VCS or version control system enables seamless collaboration between teams, even if they are miles apart. They can be at other end of the globe. It doesn't matter. It increases understanding and spark collaboration to foster greater release build and release pattern, better visibility, improve everything from project management to code quality. Version control software facilitate coordination, sharing, and collaboration across the entire software development team. It enables team to work in distributed and asynchronous environment, manage changes and version of code and artifact, and resolve merge conflict and related anomalies. Basically, collaboration, as in two developers or a bunch of developers in a team, can be located at different country, different continent. It does not matter. Version control systems allow them to collaborate and work on features asynchronously. It does not matter who is working on what. Every developer can work on their feature without any problem. So next point is experimentation. So version control system allows something that is known as branch. So branch, you can create a branch from current version of code and then make changes if you have some idea, or if you just want to try something quick. And then if the changes work, or something you tried work and it's actually valuable, you can merge that commit to central repository. Branching and merging, having team members work concurrently. Even individual working on their own can be benefit from version control system, as it allows multiple branches to form from a single version of code, and you can work on each branch on a different feature. It will not conflict with the other branches, as each is a separate branch on itself. Each branch acts like a main code on itself, but it can be pulled back into a main branch or trunk, if you say so. Many software teams adopt the practice of branching. Basically, there are various patterns of branching that teams follow. They have name. We will not cover any specific in this video. So there are many workflow team can choose, and how they decide it can depend on their organization or on their general need. Also, let's look at the fifth point, documentation. Version control system log messages, provides context for changes. With each commit, there is generally a message present. Team can review the commits, comment on them, and improve each other's code and asset. Being able to annotate each changes with a message describing the purpose and intent of change can help with root cause analysis and forensic. Having the annotated history of code at your fingertips when you are reading code, trying to understand what it is doing and why it is designed that way, can enable developers to make correction and harmonize change. They are in accord with intended long-term system design. So basically, it's helped developer to optimize their work and can help in managing legacy code because you have a history as to what was done and why it was done at that time. Next is management overview. Being able to trace each changes made to software and connect it to a project management and bug tracking system like Jira. Version control enable management to have a comprehensive perspective of development of the project. They are aware of the author and purpose of change and timeline of progress and the impact that the change will have on the long-term objective of that certain project. Let's talk about what are the types available for version control system. Generally, there are two main types of version control system: a centralized version control system and a distributed. Although there are other types available like a local version control system or a log-based version control system, but these two are the main, so we will cover these two only. Centralized version control system. So basically in centralized version control system, you have a central copy of your project on a server. There is a central server that store all the versions, and user check out each copy to work and commit their changes to the central repository, where all users are working on central repository. This central repository can be located on a server or a developer's local machine. Centralized version control systems are typically used in software development projects where a team of developers need to share code and track changes. You pull the file that you need to work on, but you never actually have the whole project locally on your system. Some of the most common version control systems that are centralized include Subversion and Perforce. Next, let's see what is a distributed version control system. Basically, in distributed version control system, gives in this each user can copy the repository to their local machine, promoting greater anonymity and flexibility. You don't actually have to rely on a central server to store all the version of project file. Instead, you can clone a copy of the repository locally so that you have a full history of the project. And since each developer has full history of the project, it is very robust, and it does not, there is no chance to lose any data in that. Two common distributed version control systems that are currently available is the most popular version control system, that is Git and Mercurial. While you don't actually have to have a central repository, but you can actually have, that might be a good idea. You might want one central place to keep all your code so you can share and collaborate on your project with others. That's where various version control system hosting services comes. Some of them you might have heard, like GitHub, Bitbucket, GitLab, and you can actually host your own instance of Git, as to say, using Git and keep a copy of repository on that hosting service, and your teammate can actually check that out and push and pull code, clone that and everything. So thank you for watching this video. If you have any question, please write them in the comment section and I'll try to answer them as many as I can. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you dislike the video, hit the dislike button. That is also very fine. And please subscribe. Thank you.